Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Meiningens Student Theater Organization, in association with the University of Minnesota Morris Theater Discipline, please allow me to welcome you to this showing of Iphigenia in Aulis, written by the Greek tragedian Euripides and translated by Robert Porter. Set just before the beginning of the Trojan War, with Helen having just been kidnapped by Paris of Troy, all of Greece has been called upon and is ready to set sail. However, they are prevented from doing so by the gods, and in their desperation have been given a prophecy from the oracle that the cost to sail for glory comes at a steep price for their leader, Agamemnon. But I get ahead of myself. In this production, you will see many a person, some of whom you may already be familiar with. Persons like the conflicted Agamemnon and his brother Menelaus, Achilles, the legendary hero, Clytemnestra, Agamemnon's faithful wife, Iphigenia, the tragic victim, and their attendants, messengers, and chorus. The director would like it to be known that in this production, due to a small cast, each of these characters will be represented through specific masks. So whomever wears the mask of Agamemnon shall they themselves become Agamemnon, no matter who the actor actually be. To help with any confusion, upon request, subtitles have been provided for your viewing experience. But enough of me. The play is what you've come for. Now, gather you to your seats and settle in as we present to you the tragedy of Iphigenia in Aulis.
Of life and greatness alive.
Yet is that dignity unsafe. The chase of glory is delightful, but when it brings disquiet, one from regards their worship ill-directed, ruin comes. One will the various and discordant views of men distract the mind and wound its peace.
This I approve not, it approved in chief. Not to all good, without a taste of ill, did Atreus give thee birth. It must be thine to joy, likewise must be thine to grieve. For thou art mortal born, and if perchance to thee not pleasing, thus the gods did decree. The blazing lamp didst thou display, and write that letter, which thou holdest in thy hand e'en now. The writing didst thou pluck, and seal, and open it again. And all the floor cast it in grief, the warm tear from thine eye fast flowing, and thy thoughts distracted near, as it should seem to madness. What new care, my royal lord? Say, what new care disturbs thee? Tell me, impart it to me. A man honest and faithful wilt thou speak. A man by Pandarus of old sent you thy wife, a nuptial present to the tender bride, one of tried faith and its office just.
To Leda were 3 beauteous daughters born, Phoebe and Clytemnestra, my wife, and Helen. To her the youths of Greece, those of noblest rank as wooers came. Each menaced high on deeds of blood resolved, should he not win the virgin. Whose cause Pandarus her father was but doubt, to give or not to give her, and how best to make it fortune his. At length this thought occurred, that each to each the wooers give their oath, and plight their hands, and on the flame pour the libations, and with solemn vows bind their firm face, that he, who should win a virgin as his bride, all would aim, if any dared, to seize and bear her off, and drive by force her husband from the bed. All would unite in arms and lay his town, Greek or barbaric, level with the ground. Their oaths thus pledged, the aged Pandarus, beneath them well the cautious pillars wrought, gave his daughter of her wooers one to choose, towards whom the gentle gales of love would waft. And she chose. Oh, that he had never obtained that envied favor, Menelaus. To Lacedaemon now the Phrygian came, a judge between the beauties of the sky, so famed repulsing. Gorgeous was his dress, glittering with gold and vermeil tinctured dyes, barbaric elegance. He loved, was loved, and bore the elegant Helen away to Ida's pastoral grove, for Menelaus was absent. Deserted thus through Greece he raved on oaths attesting, given of old to Pandarus, pondering all to avenge his wrongs. At this the Grecians rushed to war, and taking arms, come hither to the straits of Aulis, furnished well with ships, with spears, and numerous chariots. Me they chose their chief, doing a grace to Menelaus, for that I am his daughter. Oh, that this high honor some other had obtained, not I! The troops collected in a body, here we sit, inactive, and from all its wish to sail in vain. The prophet Calchas, midst the gloom that darkened on our minds, at length pronounced that Iphigenia, my virgin daughter, I to Diana, goddess of this land, must sacrifice. This victim given, the wind shall swell our sails, and Troy beneath our arms be humbled in the dust. But if denied, these things are not to be. This when I heard, I said that by the herald's voice the troops shall obey this charge, for never would I bear to slay my daughter. Until my brother came, and urging many a plea, persuaded me to bear these dreadful things. I wrote, I sealed a letter to my wife, that she should send her daughter to Achilles as bride of Felix. Of his work I spoke in terms of amplest honor, said that he would not sail with Greece unless from us his nuptial bed was actually desired. With my wife, this found easy belief, the false tale that announced her daughter's destined marriage. Of the Greeks, none but Ulysses, Calchas, and my brother, to this are conscious. What I did resolved imprudently, or I prudently retract, committed to this letter, which Since thou saw'st me this night, old man, I'm told and told again. Take then this letter, haste to our next day. What here is written in its enfolding clothes I will explain to thee, for thou art faithful to my wife and to my health.
Read, explain this further, that my words may aptly with thy writings correspond.
What am thy former letter there tried? Daughter of Leda, this I write to thee. To Euboea's winding way, sin not thy daughter, nor to Aulis rising high above the waves, for to some other time the nuptials of the virgin we defer.
Will not Achilles, frustrate of his bride, be fired with rage against thee and against thy wife? This might be dangerous, is not such thy thought.
Achilles knows not of the nuptials, knows of our transactions not, nor that I named my daughter his, as to his bed betrothed.
This royal Agamemnon is a deed of perilous daring. So thy daughter, make the bride of him whom from Gladys draws his birth, thou wast a victim for the Grecians.
Distractions in the thought, unhappy me, my misery seeks me. But away, to age remitting nothing, use thy utmost speed, my hasted king. Now sit on a bank of shaded fountain, nor indulge to sleep, think better of me. Take good heed where'er the ways divide, with the car whose wheels swift rolling, bear my daughter hither, escape thee not, I shall observe. Now haste thee from the tent. If on thy way thou meet her, backward turn her reins, and send her to Mycenae's walls raised by the Cyclops.
How, if I shall say this to thy wife and daughter, shall I gain belief?
This seal, whose impress on thy letter thou bearest, take with thee. Now go, that silver light shows the approach of morn, the harbinger of the sun's fiery steeds. Be in my toils assistant to me, for mortals none knows a pure corpse of unmixed happiness, none yet born without the shared grief.
Thus I have reached the sandy shore, where Aulis rises from dashing wave, nor feared its foams to brave, and there you redness, adventuring o'er. My native Chelsea's left, that feeds the pride of the swift current, hastening to the main, and lustering Syracus's silver tide. The Grecian camp, the Grecian fleet, the train of demigods I wish to see. Who, with the 1,000 ships that wait to bear, destroy the vengeful war, that thus our husbands say the states decree. By the imperial Agamemnon led, in arms of right Menelaus, arise! And Helen, ravished from his nuptial bed, perfect Euripides setting back his cries. The shepherd Paris bore away the gift of Venus on that day when, nigh the dewy fountain as she stood, contending with the rival forms of heaven, to her the palm of beauty given in all her radiant charms, the goddess glowed.
Diana's hallowed robe, I see. Where to the goddess? Frequent victims mean, and through it past the sea, the warm blush kindling on my youthful cheek. Ardent my wish to view the guard of shields, the armed tents of Greece, extended wide, their horse and warlike muster, oared field, the whole glorious scene of martial pride. Then, under Ajax struck my sight, one from Aulis draws his birth, and one from greater Trojan, Salamis, glories in her hero's might. These sitting, with Protestolaus I saw, delighted with the various figured god. But Palamedes, Carolyn's birth to drop from Neptune with Tiberius woven high the massy discus. Near and there rejoiced the man we sport to share. Wonders the hero's form and the martial grace. Ulysses there, whose island's craggy brow frowns o'er the darkened waves below. And Nereus, fairest of the Grecian race. Swift as the winged wind, Achilles, whom the goddess leads his war, and gave to Chiron in his rigid war, to train his infinite mind. I saw, in all his arms arrayed, the cumbrous equipage of war, his speedy o'er the strand displayed. Contended with the highest car, carried the beam. I saw Menelaus rise, I heard his animation cries, and marked each person beauteous to behold. Their glittering bits embossed with gold, those amidst the yoke that bear dappled with silvery marks their hair. And each on either side that went, obedient to the guiding rein, with equal swiftness o'er the plain. And dressed the flaming gold, with clad in snow-white fleckles brown, with rival speed I saw Pleiades fly, and arms a whirling chariot nigh, like o'er the pebbling ground.
Thanks to the numerous fleets I fly, a vast and glorious sight, to gratify my curious eye, a woman's dear delight. On the right wing, from Pythia's strand, the Meiningens, a valiant band, and 50 gallant vessels ride. And by the Nereus, we behold, bright on their prows and sculptured gold, Achilles' arms are signified.
The flag of ships of equal oars, next these their stations hold. The son of Talus leads their powers and stirs the bold. In order next the Athenian train, and 60 vessels try remain. Their course the son of Theseus leads, with guardian Lycian crowns, and arms the sculptured palace glows and scattered by Euripides.
From his host I there surveyed, and 50 ships the warriors came, which formed each ship displayed proud argument of Theban fame. High on each sculptured shroud their canvas stands, a golden dragon holding in his hands. And Latest, who boasts his birth from those that sprung in battle from the earth, commands their naval war. Those through the race from both his drought, rained on the foaming flood I saw. Oilean Ajax there, equal his numbers, leads the Locrian train, leaving illustrious Thornian's plain.
Time I see his grandfather towers towered by the neighboring side of ground. The son of Atreus leads his power. 100 ships the monarch brought, and faithful at his side, as friend with friend, these eyes beheld beyond their chief of shame. Therefore prepare the house he fled, and lightly to sorrow of our barracks spent.
Greece, with a generous rage might rise and vindicate his thoughts. His troops from Pylos masters draw the reverence the warrior's stage. On his tall vessel, sculptured Elpis stands, a bull, and seems to spread the sand. From Aeneas, soaring coast, by Venus led, 12 vessels plowed and packed, the chiefs of Aulis, anchored by the track. These 3 did host are called the brave Epian train, and Euripides their force commands. Dashed by the oars of foaming main, widens beneath the tracking bands. Each is their leader. From that dangerous shore, where rough Achilles' vast rocks roar, the sail of Menian Ajax to the right stretches, the left wing to unite. The blasting station o'er the deep, his fleetest vessels circling sweep. And all my gallant cry, I heard, I saw them stretch to meet their war. Should the barbarians flight parks there, shattered and sunk beneath the tide.
they will return no more.
I heard, I saw,
In all the world train, face my memory shall retain, when reach my native shore.
This Menelaus is wrong. Thou shouldst not do it.
go to, thou wouldst be faithful to thy lord.
That is an honor to me, no reproach.
Wouldst thou do what thou shouldst not, thou shalt ruin.
Thou shouldst not open the letter which I bear.
Thou shalt not bear what to all Greece is hurtful.
When others dispute that, leave this to me.
I will not let it go.
Nor will I yield it.
Soon shall thy head this scepter stained with blood.
Nay, it were glorious for my lords to die.
Let go, a slave presuming to dispute.
My royal master, we are wrong. By force he has wrested the letter from my hands, which behoves him paying no regard.
Why this indecent tumult at my doors? Why Menelaus, this strife with him, this force? Look if thou darest at me, then will I speak. Fear I, creatures born to raise mine eye. Dost thou see this, with basest orders charged? I see it. From my hand first give it back, not till I've shown all Greece what's written here. Knowest thou this open what thou shouldst not know? To wring thy heart, opening thy secret baseness. Where didst thou take it? Gods, hast thou no shame? Watching from Argus if thy daughter comes. What my affairs of spy, no shamelessness. Urged by my will, for I am not thy slave. Have I not leave in mine own house to rule? How wayward is thy mind, at variance with the past and soon to change. Finally thy words are changed. But know thou this, the wily tongue is a detested ill. The wavering mind is a base property, and darkens to our friends. But if through pride thou turn thee from the truth, small share of praise shalt thou receive from me. Thou knowest when thy aim was to command the troops of Greece at Troy, thy semblance formed, as if affecting nothing. But thy wish most ardent, what humility was thine, pressing the hand of each thy door till all was open, to the meanest, and thy speech to all addressed in order, e'en to those who willed no converse with thee. By courteous manners thy ambitious wish to purchase, the supreme command obtained, and to thy friends not friendly as before, nor was access easy, oft to deny. Ill it becomes an honest man when raised to power, and most to be approved firm to his friends, when through his advanced state he most can serve them. This I urge against thee as my first charge, where first I found thee base. For when thou camest to Aulis, with the troops of Greece in arms, to nothing didst thou sink. Astonished at thy fortune by the gods denied a gale to swell thy sails, the Greeks then required thee to dismiss the ships nor toil in vain at Aulis. How dejected then thy visage, thy confusion then how great, not to command 1,000 ships and fill the fields of Priam with embattled hosts? Me then didst thou address. What shall I do, or what expedient find of this command, of this high honor not to be deprived? When Calchas at the hallowed rites declared that to Diana thou must sacrifice thy daughter, thy thoughts were heightened. Willingly the virgin as a victim didst thou promise, and freely, not by force, urge not that plea. Dost thou dispatch a message to thy wife to send thy daughter hither, the pretense her nuptials with Achilles? But thy mind was soon averse, and soon devised letters of different import. Now in sooth, thou wilt not be the murderer of thy daughter. To thousands this hath chanced in tasks of arduous nature. Freely they engage, then from high attempt retreat with shame. Fill judgment of the countrymen in part, Justice impart the cause, for they feel their wanton power to guard the state. Never for his wealth would I appoint a ruler of the state, or chief in arms. Wisdom should mark the man who in his country bears the sovereign sway. Every man, sage in council, is a leader.
How dreadful when twixt brothers' words arise, and fierce disputings kindle into strife.
For this I will rebuke thee, but in grief, not raising high the eye of insolence, but with more temperance, because thou art my brother. For a good man loves to act with modesty. But tell me, why with rage wilt thou thus swell? Why rolls thy bloodstream's eye? Who injures thee? Of what art thou in want? A rich connubial rent? Is that thy wish? This to procure thee is not in my power. Thou didst possess one, but ill governed it. Should I, who with no fault had e'er been charged, suffer for thy ill conduct? Is thy heart racked at my orders? But a beauteous wife in thy fond arms it is thy wish to hold, transgressing decency and reason, base of a bad man of pleasures. But if I, before ill judging, have with sober thought my purpose changed, must I be therefore deemed reft of my sense? Or rather, what was the wife who brings thee shame, and yet dost with warmth wish to regain her? May the favoring God grant thee that fortune. Nuptials, eager the suitors pledged to endorse their oaths unwise. The hope, I mean, the fair bride more effective this than thy grace, O power. Take these and march to war. Soon wilt thou find what oaths avail ill-plighted, with slight thought and by compulsion. But I will not slay my children, and thy wishes or wreak justice, the punishment of thy perfidious wife. My nights, my days would pass away in tears, if I with outrage and injustice wronged those who from me derived their birth. These things have I replied to thee in brief, with ease and plainness. But if thou wilt not be wise, what concerns me I rightly will appoint.
These words are different from his former speech, and well the father's melting pity show.
On me unhappy, I have then no friends. If thou wish not to destroy thy friends, how wilt thou show one father gave us birth? I would be wise, but not be mad with thee. Friends with thy friends in common ought to grieve. Be thy deeds friendly then, not painful to me. And with all grace shalt thou not bear this pain? All grace at thee hath heaven sent frenzy seeds. Thou gloriest in thy scepter and betrayest thy brother. But to other means I turn, and other friends.
I come, imperial lord of Greece, thy daughter leading in thy house attending, Iphigenia, named by thee. Thy wife attends her Clytemnestra with thy son Orestes, a sight desirous to behold after its tedious absence from thy home. But wearied with this length of way, beside a beauteous flowing fountain, they repose, themselves refreshing, their steeds unyoked, to taste the fresh grass of the verdant mead. I run to bring thee notice that prepared thou mayst receive them. Quick the report was spread through the camp that Iphigenia is arrived. In all haste to the sight, beauteous to behold thy daughter. For to every eye, the great appear illustrious, with high splendor graced. Is this her nuptial day, sonnet? Or what intent? Or through fond desire to see his daughter, did the imperial Agamemnon send for the virgin? The princess? To Diana will they present? Who shall receive her hand? But haste, begin the high meals and crown thy head. Thou too, royal Menelaus, start the song. Re-echo to the festive house and happy song. For joyful to the virgin comes this day.
'Tis well, thou hast my things, but go thou in. All things of fortune favor shall be well.
Ah me, so unhappy me. What shall I say and whence begin? What a chain of fate am I enfolded? Fortune's wiser far than all my vain designs have closely wrought beneath me. What advantages attend a noble birth? You're allowed to weep and utter sad complaints, but to the noble this is none. Led by the pride of rank which rules us, to the people we are slaves. I am indeed ashamed to drop the tear. Not to drop the tear, I am ashamed. Fallen as I am in these greatest miseries. Let it be. But how shall I dress my wife or receive her? With what eye look on her? For all my former ills coming unbidden, she has added weight of new distress. Yet, decency required in her presence with her daughter, to attend her nuptials and present the dearest gifts. There will she find me false. But the unhappy bride, call I thee, how soon to Pluto to be wedded, how I pity. Methinks I hear her suppliant voice thus speak. My father, wilt thou kill me? Mayst thou make thyself such nuptial as and to heir to thee is dear? Her rusty standing near shall cry in accents inarticulate, his speech as yet unformed, articulate to me. Unhappy me! What ruin has the son of pride brought on me? This Paris cause when he spoused the faithless Helena.
I, as a woman and a stranger ought, am moved with pity at a monarch's woes.
Give me thy hand, my brother. Let me clasp it.
I give it. Thou art conqueror. I a wretch.
By Pelops called the father of thy father and mine, by Atreus whence we draw our birth, I swear that what I now shall say to thee comes from my heart, not fame, but what I think. When from thine eye I saw thee drop the tear, I pitied thee, and sympathizing dropped myself a tear. It's former reasonings now, but as thou feelest feels, nay, I exhort thee, neither to slay thy daughter, nor to rank what concerns me most high. It is not just that grief should rend thy heart, whilst my affairs go pleasantly, that any of thy house should die, whilst mine behold the light. For what can be my purpose? But at such a price, my brother's ruin, which behoves me least. Shall I regain Helena, an ill dear with a blessing purchase? Folly ruled before, and youth. But most, I see what 'tis to yield a child to death. Besides the unhappy virgin, near allied by ties of consanguinity, excites my pity, destined for a nuptial bed, to fall a victim. What hath she to do, the virgin daughter, with my Helena? Discharged from Aulis, let the troops depart, and thou, my brother, cease to dew thine eyes with tears, which cause the drops to start in mine. Touching thy daughter, hath the oracle that respect me, no more be that respect. My part I cede to thee. My thoughts are changed from cruel, and I feel what I should feel. Nature hath returned, and all the brothers' love warm, and my heart revived. Of no bad man the manners these, to follow still the best.
Generous thy words, and worthy Tantalus, the son of Jove, thou dost not shame thy birth.
Now I applaud thee, for beyond my thought rightly thy words conclude, and worthy thee.
For love and for ambition variance oft rises twixt brothers. But my soul abhors this mutual harshness of unnatural strife.
But dire necessity compels me now, my daughter's bloody slaughtered to my feet.
Who shall compel thee to destroy thy child?
The whole assembled host of Greece and arms?
Not if to Argus her thou send again.
That might be secret. This must be revealed.
What? Of the people not too great dread?
The oracle will tell us sound to all.
Not if ere that he die. An easy thing,
Vainglorious is the whole prophetic breed.
and of no use when present, of no good.
But seest thou not what enters now my thought?
Can I conjecture what thou dost not speak?
He, the race of Sisyphus, knows all.
Nor thee, nor me will e'er Ulysses harm.
Workful the people as he wills, he leads.
With vanity, a mighty ill possessed.
Think for now ceased and stand against the troops, declaring to them all the oracle announced by Calchas how this sacrifice all promised to Diana then refused. Soon he will lead the Grecians and excite them. Me in their fury having slain indeed to sacrifice the virgin. Should I fly to Artemis? Marching thither, they will raise her rampires by the Cyclops raised and spread destruction o'er the land. Unhappy me! Such ills are mine for the severe distress brought by the gods! But one thing, make thy head, take heed. As through the host thy steps return, these tidings reach not Clytemnestra's ears. And I, the virgin, to the infernal king shall have presented, that I may abide with as few tears as may be my heart fit. Silence, ye female strangers! Be your quiet!
Bless the golden days, who prove the gentle joys of temperate love, when modest Venus on the couch attends, pleased with tranquility to dwell. But high the manly passions swell, when both his bows the bright her tyrant bends. One, by the grace and strong impart pure joys that brighten in our hearts, and one, life's wild tumultuous war. Far, beauteous queen, from us may this be far. Mine beloved pure and temperate grace, the holy flame of chaste desire. Mild Venus in my breast inspire, they never have ungoverned passion place.
The man different mind, different man as marked as mine. He wants to live in heaven, and advocate his faith and hold every virtue for his faith. Each modesty and wisdom loves to bring, she loves to bring each various grace which shows her duty. That's his play. With glory beams divinely guided, and forms of life unfailing, streams of life. The woman perished on a silent battle for his flame, and learned work of thing more. With self-esteem, shut the wall.
Thence Paris did it set on,
When
Ida's pasture brow,
shame the snowy birds of love.
was a barbaric song blind to bid the sweet notes flow. Was a Phrygian pipe, breeze measures,
Caught from those harmonious treasures which Olympus taught
is reed.
the birds around me feed. What's the contending?
Beauties of the skies,
From me expect the prize. Exaggerate joy, thy eyes have seen to the house before, thy eyes of flames of love inspiring hell.
arms to rush upon my soul, and man its rank without control. Hence discord calls to war with many ship, with many fear, pushes upon impetuous to destroy the rampart walls of Troy.
Daughter of the king,
Sprung from Tyndarus, my queen. From noble ancestors they draw their birth, and are to fortune's high state exalted. To the inferior race of life, the powerful and wealthy are as gods. Daughters of Chalcis, near them let us stand, and courteous in our hands receive the queen.
As from her care she's the ground ascends, with duteous zeal that she may tread secure.
and that the lustrous daughter of the king, on her arrival nothing may disturb.
For strangers as we are, let us not cause these Argive strangers trouble or affright.
This, as a prosperous omen, I accept thy courtesy and gentleness of speech, and hence conceive I hope that I am come to happy nuptials leading her a bride. But from the chariot taketh an hour gifts brought with me for the virgin, to the house bear them with faithful care. My daughter, quit the harnessed chariot, and thy delicate foot place on the ground. Ye females in your arms receive her, she is weak, and from the car conduct her down. Stretch one of you your hand, supporting me, that I may leave this seat in seemly manner. Step before the yoke, stand nigh the horses, for their eyes quick, soon startled and unruly. Now receive this child, Orestes, Agamemnon's son, for he is yet an infant. Dost thou sleep, my son? The rolling chariot hath subdued thee. Wake to thy sister's merit happily, the alliance of a noble youth, thyself noble, shalt soon receive the godlike son of Thetis. My daughter, near me stand. Stand near thy mother Iphigenia. Show me, strangers, how supremely I am blessed in thee, and here address thee to thy father.
Would it offend my mother should I run and throw myself amidst my father's arms?
Imperial chief of Greece, my honored lord, to thy commands obedient we are come.
My father, to thy arms I wish to run, clasp to thy bosom, dear to me thy sight after such absence. Be not angry with me. Enjoy thy wish. Of all my children, the house of thy father, always been most full. Absent so long, with joy I look on thee, and I on thee. So this is mutual joy. Well hast thou done to bring me to thy presence. If well or not well done, I cannot say. A gloom hangs on me amidst thy joy to see me. The king and chief hath many anxious parents. Let me have thee now. Think not of cares. Thou hast me all. Each thought is bent on thee. Yet from thy melting eye thou pour'st the tear. Long, very long the absence to ensue. I know not, dearest father, what this means. Thy prudent speech makes me more pity thee. Mind it divert thee, I thee will I talk. Can I be silent? Oh, thou hast my thanks. At home, my father, with thy children stay. I wish it. But I wish denied, I grieve. A mischief on the war, Sparta's wrong. Others will feel that mischief, I have felt it. How long thy absence in the Bay of Aulis? Something detains me yet. Detains the host. Where, my father, do they say the Phrygians dwell? Where that Priam's Paris ne'er had lived. And whence thou leavest me? Is the voyage long? To the same place where thy father goes. Oh, that with honor I might sail with thee. Thou shalt, without thy father shalt remember. Go I alone, or sails my mother with me? Alone. Nor father there, nor mother goes. Dost thou then place me in some other house? Ask not, for virgins should not know such things. must well prepare the rites. Thou shalt be witness. Nigh the lover's place. Shall we then round the altar raise the song?
Be happier than myself in this I deem, that thou art ignorant. But beloved, present thee to the virgin.
Oh, that kiss, that dear embrace, how painful from a child who from a father must be so long absent. Me, those breasts, those cheeks, those golden tresses, what piercing sorrow has the Phrygian state in Helen caused us? But I kept my words, and when I touched thee in my melting eye, the sudden monster rising. Go thou with. Daughter of the with pity touched, I feel my grief too strong, for that I soon shall to Achilles, my dear child and son. Forgive me. How be it so to place a daughter that it pains a father's heart when he delivers to another house a child, the object of his tender care?
Nor is my heart insensible. I feel, be thou assured, an equal grief nor want from the monitions when I lead the virgin with hymeneal rites. But custom joined with time will check it. Well, his name I know, to whom thou hast betrothed thy daughter. But I wish to know his lineage whence he draws.
Iphigenia was the daughter of Iphigenia.
With her what mortal wedded, or what god?
Jove, sire of Aeacus. You know each chief.
What son of Aeacus possessed his house?
Achilles, daughter he of Nereus lands.
By force, or by the gods' consent obtained?
Her father gave her, first by Jove betrothed.
Where did he wed her? In the ocean waves?
Where Chiron dwells in Pelion's awful heights.
The centaur race, they say, inhabit
By
there.
gods their graced his nuptial day.
Achilles did the sire or Thetis train?
Chiron, that from bad men he might not learn.
Wise he who took, wise they who gave the charge.
Such is the man who shall thy daughter wed.
Not disapproved, but where in Greece his seat?
Where flows Apidanus through Pathia's bounds.
Thine, my daughter, thither will he lead.
When he obtains her, this will be his care.
How blessed may they be, but when the bridal day?
Soon as the moon's propitious civil fill.
Is for the bride the previous victim slain?
Soon shall it. This employs my present thought.
And wilt thou next the nuptial feast prepare?
I have offered what the gods require.
Where for the females shall we deck the feast?
Here, the gallant fleet at anchor rides.
Amply supply them what the occasion claims.
Knowst thou what now I wish thee do? Obey me.
In what? Thou long hast trained me to obey.
We in the place where the bridegroom is, thy daughter.
Without the mother. What to me belongs?
But give thy daughter with the assembled host of Greeks.
And where, whilst this is doing, shall I be?
To Argos, I train the virgins there.
And to lead my daughter? Who will raise the torch?
The light to deck the nuptials I will hold.
Custom forbids, nor wouldst thou deem it seemly.
Nor decent that thou mix with martial troops.
But decent that the mother give the daughter.
Nor leave the younger in the house alone.
In close apartments they are guarded well.
Let me persuade thee.
By the potent queen, goddess of Argos, no. Of things abroad, take thou the charge. Within the house, my care shall deck the virgin's nuptials as is meet.
Don't hurry me! In vain I gave my hopes or vanish. Out of sight it was my wish to send my life. Thus I devised, thus for my wily purpose, studious to beguile, and those dearest to my soul, and all my aims confounded. Hence to Calchas will I go, the seer, inquiring what the goddess wills. To me, an unfortunate, a grief to Greece. A wise man in his house should find a wife gentle and courteous, or no wife at all.
Samoas and his silver tides, and eddies whirling through the plain, the fleet of Greece with gallant pride, vengeful shall bear this martial train. To Ilion's rampart tower shall bear, and Troy by Phoebus loved the war. Cassandra there went on her soul, the gods prophetic transports roll. Her brow with virgin's laurel loves to bind, her beauty's tresses streaming to the wind.
The children's high and the Ilion's towers, and round the walls of Troy shall stand, when Mars and Smuggles leads his powers, and furious clouds the hostile strand. When time, through and past to there, again she greets the faithful fair, whose brightness, son of Jove, and high from stars adorn the spangled sky. Rushing toward his brazen shields he rears, and glittering around him blaze the Grecian spears.
Walls of rock and turrets crown, Mars and furious war shall lead, clouds flames war shall stand.
As we approach, he hews the warrior's head, and to the dust she destroys our walls again. Burst for the woes oppressed, and cries scream the foe lament, joy held and beasts of her breast, in anguish for her love around. From me, from mine, we follow the faith, which Lydia's scorn to stage aside, which curse our matron, wipe their duty odds, in legal converse, or the blood related. Who will not rend her curses of hair, who will not pour the gushing tears, who'll sunk in dust our wooden walls, right out of the bird, whose neck arched in proud state, the white plume's death. For thee in dust our country falls, and through the fame that mighty Jove changed the swan Saltina's love. Or failing colors, from here in spring, their wanton and indecent legends bring.
Where is the leader of the Grecian host? Who of the attendants tells them that Achilles, son of Peleus, seeks them at the gate? Different our states, who neither Euripides wait here. Unwedded some their houses left in solitude here sit upon the shore. And childless others leave their nuptial beds. Such are not without the gods true Greece flames for this war. What touches me to speak is mine, but others what their needs require themselves explain. Thessalia's pleasant fields and Peleus leaving, at the narrow surge of Euripides I wait, where Meiningens restraining. With impatient instance oft they urge me, why, Achilles, stay we here? What tedious length of time is it to pass? To Ilium ere we sail? Wouldst thou do it? Do it or lead us home? Nor here await the sons of Atreus and their cold delays.
Son of the goddess Thetis, within the house, hearing thy words, I come without the gates.
O revered modesty, whom do my eyes behold, the form bears dignity and grace.
Not strange thou know'st us not, before not seen, but thy regard to modesty I praise.
Who art thou? To the Grecian camp why come? A woman midst the host of men at arms.
Daughter of Leda, Clytemnestra named am I, the royal Agamemnon's wife.
Well hast thou answered, and in brief, what shame will mine with wedded dame told discourse?
Stay, wherefore dost thou fly me? With my hand join thy right hand, pledge of thy happy nuptials.
My hand with thine? To Agamemnon this were wrong, if what I have no right I touch.
Son of the sea-born Nereid, thou hast right, much right, since soon my daughter thou shalt wed.
When dost thou say? Amazement trains my tongue. What secret purpose has thy strange discourse?
'Tis ever thus. The modest with new friends at mention of their nuptials are ashamed.
Ne'er did I woo thy daughter. Ne'er did word of nuptials from thy actually reach my ear.
What may this mean? Thou wonderest at my words, and equal wonder does thine excite in me.
All is conjecture, according to us both. Both haply are by words alike deceived.
I am abused. According nuptials ne'er designed, it seems. I blush at this.
Someone perchance gives thee and me hath framed this mark. Regard it not, light let it pass.
Farewell. I cannot look upon thy face basely abused and made a liar thus.
Thee too I bid farewell. Within the house, inquiries from thy husband will I make.
Stay, stranger of the race of Aeacus, stay, that is foreign daughter of Leah, stay!
Who with his honest voice calls from the gates?
A slave, and that I boast not, no proud vaunt will my fortune admit.
Whose slave? Not mine, for I am Agamemnon of no share.
Hers, who stands here before the house, a gift of Tyndaris for father.
Well, we stay. What wouldst thou? What hast thou detained me? Speak!
Are you alone before this royal house?
Speak as to us alone. Come from the gates.
O fortune, and I provident caution, save those whom I wish to save.
Thy word portends something not brief, and seemeth import hard.
Delay not for my hand. Speak what thou wouldst.
Dost thou then know me? Who I am to thee and to thy children, how benevolent?
I know thee, an old servant of my house.
And to the royal Agamemnon given, part of thy dowry.
With us didst thou come to Argos, and hast there been always mine.
So is it. Hence to thee I bear goodwill, but to thy husband less.
Well then, to me, whatever it is that I wish to speak at length, disclose.
Thy daughter will her father slay, her father with his own hand.
How? I abhor thy words, old man. Thou art not in thy perfect sense.
Striking her white neck with the ruthless sword.
Unhappy me! Hath madness seized his mind?
No! Save to thee and to thy daughter. Sound his sense. In this he errs from reason why.
What cause? What fury fires him to the deed?
The oracles and Pelgus, that the troops may sail.
Sail whither? Oh, wretched me, her too, how wretched whom her father will destroy.
The proud seeds of Troy, thence to bring back Helen, the Spartan fight.
Of her return is Iphigenia doomed the fatal price?
E'en so, thy daughter will her father slay a victim to Diana.
From my home to win me were these nuptials then devised?
Thy daughter thou with pleasure thou mightest lead to an Achilles.
To perdition then! Thou comest, my daughter, and thy mother with thee.
Piteous of both the sufferings and the attempt of Agamemnon dreadful.
With my woes I sink, mine eye no longer holds the tear.
Painful the tear that falls for children lost.
But whence, old man? Know'st thou or heardst thou this?
And I took my way, charged with the letter to thee, since I had which been sent.
Its purport what? Forbidding or exhorting me to bring my daughter to her death.
It is not to bring her, gave charge, for wiser than thy husband's thoughts.
Charged with this letter to me, why to me didst thou not give it?
Menelaus by force took it away, the author of these ills.
Son of the sea-born Nereid, son of Peleus, dost thou hear this?
What makes thee wretched, lady, I hear, and ill what touches me I brook.
My daughter they will slay. The false pretense thy nuptials.
On thy husband I to charge but blame, nor light does my resentment rise.
Low at thy knees, I will not blush to fall of mortal birth to one of heavenly race. Why should I now be proud? Or what demands more than a daughter's life, my anxious care? Protect, O goddess-born, a wretched mother. Protect a virgin called thy bride, her head with garlands. Oh, in vain yet did I crown and led her as by thee to be espoused. Now to be slain I bring her. For on thee, if thou protect her not, reproach will fall. For though not joined in marriage, thou wast called the husband of the virgin, by this cheek, by this right hand, by her that gave thee birth. For me thy name hath ruined, and from thee I therefore claim protection. I have now no altar but thy knee to which to fly. I have no friend but thee. The fell designs of Agamemnon's ruthless heart thou hearest, and I, a woman as thou seest, am come to this unruly camp and mischief bold of youth but when they list. If thou shalt dare stretch forth thine hand to aid me, I shall find safety. If not, then am I lost indeed.
To be a mother is the ample source of nature's dear refuge. This to all is common, for their children anxious thought.
To noblest thoughts my towering soul is raised, which at the walls of others knows to melt, and bear with moderation sporting smile.
These are the men who trained in reason's law, as wisdom guides them, form their lives aright.
There is a time when not to build too much on our own greatness is agreeable. But then there is a time when to exert our own judgments of use. Like Chiron trained of mortals most righteous, I have learned simplicity of manner. To the sons of Atreus, when their high commands are stamped with honor, my obedience shall be paid. But where honor bids not, I shall not obey. But my free nature here when it shall preserve, my spirit shall to the utmost of my power add glory to the war. But thee, oppressed with miseries and by those most dear to me, far as a young man may, so strong I feel a touch of pity, thee will I aid. And never shall thy daughter, who was called mine, by her father's hand be slain. To weave his wily trains, thy husband ne'er shall make me his pretext. For so my name will slay thy daughter, though it lifted not the sword, the cause indeed thy husband. Yet not pure my person, if through me and through my nuptials the virgin perish, suffering dreadful things and wrongs to restore its nature starts. I, with the basest of Greeks, a thing not worth, and Menelaus might well be ranked amongst men. No more the son of Achilles deemed, but of some cruel demon. Never shall my daughter, by her father, be slain. Nereus, who beneath the watery waves was trained, thy husband shall not touch thy daughter. With his finger shall not touch her, nor in her robes. Else Apollos, the mean barbaric town from whence our chiefs derive their birth, shall be illustrious, and my own Sophia be slighted as unknown to fame. His lustral lovers and consulted cakes, with sorrow the prophet Calchas shall bear away. The prophet! What is he? A man who speaks most many falsehoods, but few truths. When our translate and speak true, when false, he is no more. to me. I to the Greeks had given her, if to try for this their course were checked. The public good of those with whom I join my arms to exult, I should not have refused. But with the chiefs, I now am nothing, held of no esteem to act or not to act in glory's cause. But soon my sword shall know whom, ere to try I come, with drops of blood I shall disdain whome'er he be, who attempt to take thy daughter from me. I, as guardian God, am come to thee. Great is the contest, yet it shall be proved.
Worthy, O son of Peleus, of thyself, worthy the sea-born gods are thy words.
How shall I praise thee, that to bounds my words exceed not, nor beneath thy merit sink thy grace impairing? For the good when praised feels something of disgust if to excess commended. But I blush at words that raise pity at private woes, whilst of my ills no share is thine. Yet lovely is the sight, when stranger though he be, to the distressed a good man gives assistance. Pity me! My sufferings call for pity! When I thought to have thee for a son, I fondly fed a false and flattering a hope. To thee, perchance, and to thy future nuptials, this might be an omen should my daughter die. Gainst this behoves thee guard. Well did thy words begin, and well they ended. Be it then thy will, my daughter shall be saved. Wilt thou she fall a suppliant at thy knees? This ill becomes a virgin, yet if such thy will, with all her blushes shall she come, and in her eye ingenuous modesty. Or the same grace shall I, if absent she, obtain from thee?
Let her remain within, for modesty with her own modest dignity is pleased.
Yet must we sue to thee with earnest prayer.
Nor bring thy daughter, lady, to our sight, nor us be we reproach. The assembled host, at leisure from their own domestic cares, loves the malignant jest and suppliant tale. Suppliants are not alike shall you receive from me this grace. Great is the contest, yet it shall be mine to free you from your ills. Of one thing be assured, ne'er shall my tongue utter falsehood. If I speak untruth and mock thee with vain promise, let me die. But as I save thy daughter, may I live.
Oh, be thou blessed, thus aiding the unhappy.
Now hear me, how success may best be ours.
What wouldst thou? My attention thou mayst claim.
For this purpose, let persuasion change.
He void of spirit, too much fears the host.
Yet reason over the spiritless prevails.
Small are my hopes, yet say, what must I do?
First, be a suppliant to him not to slay his children. If rejected, come to me. If thy entreaties win him, of my aid there is no need. Thy daughter's life is saved. I with my friends shall be on better terms, and not to blame the army to my charge can impute, if I by reason wish to effect my purpose, not by violence. Well, to thy warmest wish may this succeed, and by thy friends accomplished without me.
How wise thy words! Whatever to thee seems right shall be attempted. Should I not effect the things I wish, where shall I see thee next? Or whither bends my wretched steps to find thy hand, my firm protector against these ills?
Far as occasion shall require, I shall be thy guard. But with disordered step let no one see thee hurrying through the throng of Grecians, nor disgrace thy father's house. Wanton darts unmerited would fall unto the ill fame, for he is grace in Greece.
It shall be so. Lead thou, on thee to wait me it behoves. There are gods on thee, just as thou art, their blessings must attend. If not, to what effect is all our toil.
What were the strains that Hymen gave to swell? The Lemnian pipe, its warble sweets, a tempering to the corded shell. That was to guide the mazy winding feet, whilst the whispering breed around breathes a soft responsive sound. Went to the grace of gods on Pelias' brow, the golden sandaled muses took their way. Loose to the gale the beauteous tresses flow. Thee Peleus gracing, and the bridal day, as they pierced the tangled grove, o'er the mountain as they rode, where the centaur race reside, Peleus and his lovely bride they hail. As to the wild scenes among, pour the mellifluous song. The Phrygian Ganymede, a form divine, a royal youth, Dardan race, advanced the feast of Jove to grace, and poured from the glowing goals the sparkling wine. 50 nymphs the white sands o'er, daughters they of Nereus poor, advanced the feast of light to advance, and weave the circular dance.
The centaurs waving high, their spears applied, their heads with grassy guards, crowned. Came to the pools of feast of vine, the feast were tumbling o'er the reddened ground. There, the nymphs of Sicily raise their tuneful voices high. The prophet Phoebus joined the solemn strain, and Chiron, skilled to trace the face decreed. Daughter of Nereus, sung the raptured train, a sun, bright beam of beauty, shall from thee, throughout his birth, to advance dreadful with his flaming lance. And his reminders that wield fierce in fight, the spear and shield, the lustrous realms of Troy, and Euripides towers of steel. His manly limbs refulgent arms and flow. Broken at the mother's prayer, shall the glorious gift preparing all the heroes' blaze and banished gold. Thus when Peleus won his bride, of the Nereid train of pride, came the gods and bright arrayed to praise his nuptial day.
But thee, unhappy maid,
The head of flower gardens we shall crown.
out on the mountain's grateful shades,
Some beauteous heifer climbing down.
her neck a rubial nose, decreed a victor backs and shrines of belief.
But now the human neck must bow, and now the virgin's blood must flow.
Now training
Sylvan walls of monk to love and fight, or pastoral song. Turf on mother, death of pride,
some Grecian trees of bride,
the lovely form,
the beauteous face,
and Maud's virtue's blushing grace of veil and war.
And evil our anxiety has seized the power.
A slighted out has virtue failed, and justice o'er the laws prevail. A common danger none disguise, impending vengeance of the sky.
I am come forth, and haply I may see my husband. Long his absence since he left the house. In tears is my unhappy daughter, and heaves the frequent sigh since she hath heard the death
hand must pass. The heifers too, whose blood must in black streams flow to the chaste Queen Diana, are unprepared.
Thy words indeed are gracious, but thy deeds, I know not, should I name them, how to praise. Yet come thou forth, my daughter, for to thee are all thy father's purposes well known. See, she is here in prompt obedience to thee. What for her, what for myself is meet, that which I speak.
Why winks, my daughter? Cheerful now no more thy look, but pleasant are thy eyes. Your eyes are cast upon the ground, thy robe before tells.
Ah me, whence first shall I begin to speak my ills? For all the ills have a first, a last, a middle, and successive train.
Why is it that you are all drawn together with such terror and confusion in your looks?
Answer to what I ask with honest truth.
Ask what is meet. What is meet, thou shalt hear.
Thine and my daughter art thou bent to slay?
Ah, what suspicion, what a question
To
this?
this without evasion answer first.
Ask what is meet. What is meet, thou shalt hear.
I ask only this. To this only speak.
O fate, O fortune, O my awful doom!
And mine, and hers, one to us wretched three.
In what have I done wrong?
Canst thou ask this of me? Thy purpose is unwise and ill.
I am undone, my secret are betrayed.
I have heard all, know all that thou wouldst do against me. In thy silence and thy sighs confess it. Labor not to give it words.
Lo, I am silent, for to misery I should add shamelessness by speaking false.
Now hear me, for my thoughts will I unfold in no obscured and colored mode of speech. First then, for first with this will I upbraid thee. Me didst thou wed against my will and seized by force. My former husband Tantalus by thee was slain. By thee, my infant son torn from my breast by violence was whirled and dashed against the ground. The sons of Jove, my brothers glittering on their steeds in arms advanced against thee. But old Tyndarus, my father, saved thee. At his knees become a supplicant, and hence didst thou obtain my bed. To thee and to thy house my thoughts thus reconcile, thou shalt thyself attest how irreproachable a wife I was, how chaste with what attention I increased the splendor of thy house, that entering there thou hadst delight, and going out with thee went happiness along. A wife like this is a rare prize. The worthless are not rare. 3 daughters have I borne thee, and a son. Of one of these wilt thou, O piercing grief, deprive me? Should one ask, for what cause thy daughter thou shalt kill, what wouldst thou say? Speak, or I must speak for thee. E'en for this that Menelaus may regain Helena. Well would it be if for his wanton wife our children made the price. What most we hate with what is dearest to us we redeem. But if thou leave the forces, leaving me at Argos, should thy absence then be long, think what my heart must feel. When in the house I see the seats all vacant of my child, and her apartment vacant, I shall sit alone in tears, thus ever wailing her. Thy father, O my child, hath slain thee. He that gave thee birth hath killed thee. Not another, nor by another hand. This is the prize he left his house. But do not, by the gods, do not compel me to be aught but good to thee, nor be thou aught but good to me. Since there will want some slight pretense alone for me and for my daughter daughters left at home to welcome as becomes us thy return. Well, thou wilt sacrifice thy child. What vows wilt thou then form? What blessings wilt thou ask to wait thee, thou who dost thy daughter slay? Thou who with shame to this unlucky war art marching? Is it just that I should pray for aught of good to thee? Should I not deem the gods unwise if they their favor shower on those who stain their willing hands with blood? Wilt thou, to Argos when returned, embrace thy children? But thou hast no right. Thy face, which of thy children shall behold if one with cool, deliberate purpose thou shalt kill? Now, to this point I come. If thee alone to bear the scepter, thee to lead the troops, the occasion called, shouldst thou not thus have urged thy just appeal to Greece? Is it your will, ye Grecians, to the Phrygian shores to sail? Cast then the lot whose daughter must be slain. This had at least been equal, nor hadst thou been singled out from all to give thy child a victim for the Greeks. Or Menelaus, whose cause this is, should for the mother slay Hermione. But I, who to thy bed am faithful, of my child shall be deprived. And she that hath misdone at her return to Sparta, her young daughter shall bear back, and thus be happy. Aught, if I have said amiss, reply to that. But if my words speak naught but sober reason, do not slay thy child and mine, and thus thou wilt be wise.
Be thou persuaded, reason bids to preserve our children. This no mortal can gainsay.
Had I, my father, the persuasive voice of Orpheus and his skills to charm the rest to follow me, and soothe whome'er I please, with winning words I would make trial of it. But I have nothing to present thee now, save tears, my only eloquence, and those I can present thee. On thy knees I hang, a suppliant wreath, this body which she bore to thee. Ah, kill me not in youth's fresh pride. Sweet is the light of heaven. Compel me not what is beneath to view. I was the first to call thee father. Me first didst call thy child. I was the first that all thy knees fondly caressed thee. From me received the fond caress. This was thy speech to me. Shall I e'er see thee in some house of splendor, happy in thy husband, to live and flourish as becomes my dignity? My speech to thee was, leaning against thy cheek with which my hand I now caress. What shall I then do for thee? Shall I receive my father when grown old and cheer him, and in my house, with each fond office to repay the careful nurture which he gave my youth? These words are on my memory deep impressed. Thou hast forgot them, and wilt kill thy child. By Pelops I entreat thee, by thy sire Atreus, by this my mother, who before for me suffered the pangs of childbirth, these pangs again to suffer, do not kill me. If Paris be enamored with his bride as Helen, what becomes at me, and how comes he to my destruction? My brother, small assistance canst thou give thy friends, for thy sister, with thy tears implore thy father that she may not die. E'en infants have a sense of ill, and see my father, silent though he be, sues to thee. Be gentle on me, on my life have pity. Thy two
by this beard entreat thee. Thy dear children, one is but an infant, one to riper years arrive. I will sow all in this, which shall contain more than long speech. The light of life to mortals is most sweet, but all beneath is nothing. Of his senses is he reft who hath a wish to die. For life, though ill, excels whate'er there is of good in death.
For thee, unhappy Helen, and thy love a contest dreadful and surcharged with woes, to the Atreides and their children comes.
What calls for pity and what not, I know. I love my children, else I shall be void of reason. To dare this is dreadful to me, and not to dare is dreadful. I perforce must do it. What a naval camp is here! You see? How many kings of Greece arrayed in glittering arms? To these are denied to advance to Ilium's towers. Thus the prophet Calchas speaks, denied from her foundations to o'erturn illustrious Troy, unless I offer thee a victim. But through the Grecian host maddens the fierce desire to sail with speed against the barbarians' land and check their rage for Grecian dames. My daughters, these will slay at Argos, and you too they will slay. And me? Should I, the gods not revering Jacob, not affect her oracle? To this, my child, not Menelaus, hath wrought my soul, nor to his will am I a slave. But my weakness here I feel, and I must submit. What lies in thee, my child, and what in me? But Greece. Greece should be free, nor should her sons beneath barbarians bend, their nuptial beds to ruffian force of prey.
Alas, my child, O strangers, wretched me, how wretched in thy death! Thy father flies thee, he flies, but dooms thee to the realms beneath.
My mother, oh my mother, wretched me, for both our fortunes full of woe, one stray and one mournful strain shall flow. No more the gladsome light of day, no more the bright sun's golden ray shall shine. Ah me, cheer my child. Ah me, Iphigenian forest wild. You snow-clad mountains rude that rise, mountains of Ida to the sky. Where once Pallas, his son unblessed, far severed from his mother's breast, exposed to this Paris to destroy. Ideas thence they called the boy. The boy they called Ideas, known so called through all the Phrygian town. Oh, had his son he ne'er had laid, wherewith the herdsmen strayed. To fountains of the nymphs among, to roll the lucid streams along. And the green mead profusely pours, the blushing glow of roseate flowers, and hyacinths of dusky hue for goddesses which lovely grew. Once Pallas came to the sweet glades, and Juno deemed to grace their shades. And Venus, fraught with wanton wiles, resistless with enchanting smile, and Hermes, messenger of Jove. Venus in all her sweets of love, Pallas in her spear, rejoicing, proud the bed of Jove to share. And Juno, bright imperial dame, with once the odious judgment came. For beauty sullen sweep across Euboea's angry deep. To some he grants the favoring gales that wanton in their flying sails. Necessity to some, and pain to some to cut the azure main. These quit the port with gallant pride, reluctant those at anchor ride. In sufferings born the human race, in sufferings pass life's little space. Why, since misfortunes round them wait, should men invite their cruel fate?
What woes,
what
misery
misery
hast thou brought,
daughter
unto Doris on Greece?
But thee, unhappy virgin, are this flood of ills o'erwhelmed thy wail? Ah, were this fate not mine? My mother! What a crowd of men I see advance!
The sun, Thetis with them comes. For whom, my child, I led thee to this strand.
Open the door to me, ye female train, that I may hide myself.
Whom dost thou fly?
Achilles, whom I blush to see.
And why?
These ill-starred nuptials cover me with shame.
Nothing of pleasure doth thy state present, yet stay. Now is no time for grave reserve.
Daughter of Rika,
O unhappy queen, thy voice speaks nothing false.
among the Greeks, dreadful the clever,
What the clamor? Say,
touching thy daughter,
thou hast said what bears no happy omen.
that she must be slain a victim.
And doth none against this speak?
I was with outrage threatened,
Stranger, how?
to be overwhelmed with stones.
Who dared to touch thee?
All the Grecians,
Will thy troops of Meiningens not yet present to
they
thee?
were first enraged.
Then are we lost, my child.
They cried aloud that I was vanquished by a woman.
What? Didst thou reply?
That her who was to be my bride, they should not slay.
With justice urged,
Named by her father mine.
from Argos brought by his command.
In vain, I was overpowered by their rude cries.
The many are indeed a dreadful ill.
Yet I will give thee aid.
Wilt thou alone fight with a host?
Thou seest these barren arms,
May thy design succeed.
they shall succeed.
Shall not my child be slain?
Never by my permission.
Will none come to lay rude hands upon the virgin?
Many, Ulysses with them. You will lead her.
What? He of the race of Sisyphus?
The same,
Comes he of his free will or by the host appointed?
chosen by his own consent.
Bad choice to be with blood polluted.
Him will I keep from her.
Will he drive her hence e'en against her will?
In my golden locks.
What now behoves me do?
Be firm and hold thy daughter back.
And shall she not be slain for that?
You will surely come for this. My mother, hearing now my words, to thee offended with thy husband I present vain anger, for where force will take its way. For warm thanks are to this stranger for his prompt goodwill most justly due. Yet it behoves thee. See, thou art not by the army charged with blame. Nothing more should we avail on him, mischief would fall. Hear then what to my mind delivered thought presents. It is decreed for me to die. This then I wish to die with glory, all reluctance vanished far. My mother, weigh this well, for what I speak his honors dictate. All the powers depends. The sailing of the fleet, the fall of Troy, and not to suffer should a new attempt be dared, the rude barbarians all of blessed Greece, to bear in future times her Danes by force. All this bursting on the loss of Helena, whom Paris bore away. By dying, all these things I shall achieve, and blessed, for that I have delivered Greece, shall be my fate. To be too fond of life becomes not me, nor for thyself alone. Shall thousands, when their country's injured, lift their shields? Shall thousands grasp the oar, and dare, advancing bravely against the foes, to die for Greece? Shall my single life obstruct all this? Would it be just? What word can we reply? Nay, more, it is not right that he with all the Grecians should contend to fight, to die, and for a woman. No, more than 1,000 women is one man worthy to see the light of life. With me the chaste Diana wills accept. Shall I, a mortal, dare oppose her heavenly will? Vain the attempt. For Greece I give my life. Slay me! Demolish Troy! For these shall be long time my monuments, my children these, my nuptials, and my glory. It is meet that Greece or the barbarians may slay, not the barbarians lord it over Greece. Nature hath formed them slay. The Grecians free.
Thine, your virgin is a generous heart,
but harsh what fortune
into
doth.
God's wills.
Daughter of Agamemnon, highly blessed some God would make me if I might attain thy nuptials. Greece in thee I happy deem, and thee in Greece. This hast thou nobly spoken and worthy of thy country. To contend against a goddess of superior power desisting, thou hast judged the public good a better, nay, a necessary part. For this more ardent my desire to gain thee my bride, this disposition when I see it, for it is generous. But consider well, to do thee good, to lead thee to my house, is my warm wish. Much I should be aggrieved, be witness, Thetis, if I save thee not in arms against the Grecians. Thy head, revolve this well. Death is a dreadful thing.
How came not to endings our speech, and not to war and slaughter from the jars of hell dry? But done not thou for me, O stranger, nor to save thy sword of blood, but let me save my country, if I may.
O glorious spirit, not have I against this to move, since such thy will, and what thou say'st is generous. Why should not the truth be spoken? But of thy purpose thou mayst yet repent. Know then my resolution. I will go with nigh the altar place my arms, thy death preventing, not permitting. Thou perchance may sooner prove my purpose. Nigh thy throat, when thou seest the sword. For this cause I will not, for a rash unweighed resolve, abandon thee to die. But with these arms wait near Diana's temple till I come.
Why, my mother, dost thou shed these silent tears?
I have a cruel cause which rends my heart.
Forbear, nor sink my spirit. Grant me this.
Say what? By me, my child shall never be wronged.
Could
What for thy death shall I not mourn, my child?
No, since for me a tomb will not be raised.
To die then is not that to be entombed.
The altar of the goddess is my tomb.
Well, hast thou said, my child? I will comply.
And deem me blessed, as working good to Greece.
What message to thy sisters shall I bear?
Them too array not in the guards of woe.
What greetings to the virgins dost thou send?
My last farewell to manhood train Orestes. Far as thou couldst, thou didst assist thy friends.
At Argos, can I do aught pleasing to thee?
My father and thy husband do not hate.
For thy dear sake, fierce contest must he bear.
For Greece, reluctant me to death he yields.
Basely, with guile, unworthy Atreus' son.
Who goes with me and leads me by the hair ere I am dragged?
I will go with thee.
Know that were unseemly.
Hanging on thy robes.
Let me prevail, my mother, as more becoming this and more to thee. Let one of these attendants of my father conduct me to Diana's hallowed mead, where I shall fall a victim,
Dost thou then go?
and never to return.
And wilt thou leave thy mother?
As thou seest, not as I bear.
Stay, forsake me not.
I suffer not a tear to fall, but you, ye virgins, to my fate, to the hymn, Diana, daughter of Almighty Jove, with favoring omens sing success to Greece. Come with the basket, one begin the rites, one with the purifying cakes, the flames enkindle. Let my father his right hand place on the altar, for I come to give safety to Greece and conquest to her arms. Leave me, mine the glorious fate, to o'erturn the Phrygian state. Ilium's towers their heads shall bow, with these garlands bind my brow. Bring them, be these tresses crowned, round the shrine the altar round. Bear the lamps which you fill from the pure translucent rill. High your choral voices raise, tuned to him Diana's praise. Bless Diana, royal maid, since the fates demand my aid. I fulfilled their awful power by my slaughter, by my gore.
Rivers of water now. Thus for thee our tears shall flow. For unhallowed with a tear amidst the solemn rites appear.
Swell the notes, ye virgin train, to Diana swell the strain. Queen of Chalcis, adverse land, Queen of Aulis, on whose strand, winding to a narrow bay, fierce to take its angry way, waits the war, and calls on me, its retarded force to free. Oh, my country, where are these eyes, opened on plastic skies? Oh, ye virgins, once my pride, in Mycenae who reside.
Wow, of Perseus named and proud, which, Cyclopean ran her crown.
Me you rear, a beam of light. Freely now, I sink in night.
with this immortal fame of virgin shall attend thy name.
No beating heart of day. Go forth, bright, ethereal ray. Other regions we await, other life, other fate. Farewell, beauteous lamp of day. Farewell, bright, ethereal ray.
See, she goes her glorious fate to overturn the Phrygian state. Soon the reach shall find her brow. Soon the lustral waters flow. Soon the beauteous neck shall feel, piercing deep the fatal steel, and the ruthless altar floor sprinkle drops of gushing glow. By the Father's dread command, there the cleansing lovers stand. There in hearts the Grecian clouds burn to march against Ilium's powers. But our voices let us raise to him Diana's praise. Virgin daughter, she of Jove, queen among the gods of love. Love of Equus and Rheanne, she the arms of Woodley crown. But to thee, dread power, we make our vows, pleased when the blood of human victims flows to Phrygia's hostile strand, where from perfidious Ilium's hated towers walk the Grecian power and aid this martial band. On Agamemnon's honored head, whilst wide the spears of Greece their